Hello, Don Brooks again. Hope everybody's doing fine. Uh, we're going to get right into it as we always do. Well, we try to do. I want to know what in the world is going on, and you probably want to know too. I'm going to say this that I'm concerned. So, the title of this is Don't Fall Asleep. No, don't fall asleep because you might wake up in the past. You know, You've heard of I'm sure you've been following the election, so and the aftermath of this recount and this voter fraud and all this crazy stuff. And I think it's significant that a lot of it was in predominantly black and minority counties in Philadelphia, in Detroit, in Georgia, and North Carolina. So basically, it was a terrible thing. It gave me a bad feeling because it seemed like we were going in the past. And if we go to the past, we will find ourselves waking up thinking, how did I let this happen? So let me say this. Uh, you know that separate but equal, you've heard of that term, separate but equal. Well, that was something a law established to keep the races separate, saying that if you had separate schools, that's okay. We'll keep you segregated because they're equal. No, you're not. You don't have an equal school when the school system in the black communities back in, this was way back yonder, were dilapidated school books. The president might be John Kennedy, but the last person in your history book, the last president they showed was Franklin D. Roosevelt. Old school books, torn up desks, things that was secondhand. So there's no such thing as separate but equal when it came to the school system. It stayed like that until Earl Warren, Chief Justice, came along and struck that down and said separate but equal is against the 14th Amendment. In the landmark case Brown versus Board of Education, and integration became the thing. That was a start, but there was a lot of work to do. Black kids were getting educated with white kids. They were not segregated where they had to go to their own black schools. Of course, it took a long time for us to realize that. Why am I bringing that up? Because I don't want us to fall asleep. Another significant thing. You ever heard of Jim Crow? Well, Jim Crow was a law to keep blacks that were making gains politically and economically during Reconstruction to turn back the hands of the clock, to keep them from realizing that. And that was a law for a long time, the Jim Crow laws. And then, what happened? We had some decent people. One integrated the military, and that was the president's, his name was, Harry Truman. Man, we're going to talk a lot more about Harry Truman in upcoming episodes. There was a president before him, and both these guys were Democrats, Truman and Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson kept the clock turned back. But, as we know, things change. But we can fall asleep. You saw what happened in these counties, and you probably, unless you were really in tune, you probably didn't think, what can this mean? What is this? What's the significance of this? The significance is that it's the same thing as Jim Crow laws. It's the same thing as the KKK. The KKK to me are like roaches. I compare them to roaches. They seem to die down, and then when you think they're through, they come back, just like a roach. You think you got them, but they come back. Do not fall asleep, because if we fall asleep, we're going to find ourselves back in the days of Reconstruction, where the gains we made are going to try to be taken away from us. Don't fall asleep. I'll talk to you later, because something's happening here, and what it is ain't exactly clear. Talk to you later.